As a specialist physical therapist, I often get asked about shoulder impingement. Specifically, people want to know if what their shoulder pain is actually a shoulder impingement, how they can know, and what they can do about it. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. Is the pain you're suffering from actually a shoulder impingement? What causes shoulder impingement? And the all-important question, do I need surgery for shoulder impingement? First up, the question of, do I actually have shoulder impingement? So a lot of people who come in and have shoulder pain feel like it's a shoulder impingement because they've looked on the internet, and that is kind of the most common symptom that usually comes up. In fact, I recently had a patient come in for an evaluation who told me that they did have a shoulder impingement, but it was really simple to see initially on testing that what they were suffering from was not a true shoulder impingement. It was a much more complicated problem. And I did this by asking them to lift their arm out to the side, just straight out to the side, and ask them if they had the pain when the shoulder was straight out to the side, which they did not. The other thing that should be true with a shoulder impingement is that once you lift your arm up above your head, your pain should go away or at least decrease. You see, shoulder impingement classically causes pain right when your shoulder is out to your side. That decreases as you bring your shoulder overhead. This is called the shoulder pain arc. So usually right in the middle of the range of motion, so range of motion is how much your shoulder can move, you will feel that classic painful arc. And that's really the thing that defines a shoulder impingement. Now, no one test should be taken on its own, so if you go to see a physical therapist or a doctor, they'll probably have you do more tests to make sure, but that really is the definitive one to know if we're dealing with a shoulder impingement. So it's something that you can do right now. Bring your arm out to the side and see if you have that painful arc where in the middle of the range of motion, so when your arm is straight out to the side, and if you bring your arm up overhead, does that pain decrease? Okay. So what actually causes a shoulder impingement and what actually is happening? You have your shoulder blade or your scapula that sits on the back on the rib cage, and that scapula or shoulder blade has this part that sticks out in front. It's called the acromion, and it's a bony prominence that comes off of the shoulder blade and sticks towards the front. Once it reaches the front, it connects to the clavicle or the collarbone. So you can feel your collarbone, and if you follow it out towards your shoulder, you'll feel where it hits the acromion. And so that spot right there is a bony spot that can sometimes become sensitive if you are suffering with a shoulder impingement. But it's not actually that bone that's necessarily the problem. It's actually all the structures that go underneath that acromion. You see, you have your rotator cuff muscles. So the rotator cuff muscles are 4 muscles that work together to help keep your humeral head, so your humerus is your arm bone, so they keep the humeral head in the shoulder socket. So what happens is that those rotator cuff muscles are connecting onto the arm bone in order to help keep the arm bone in the socket. Now they travel underneath that acromion or that bony spot at the top of the shoulder. If those rotator cuff muscles get dysfunctional for any reason, so they can get a trigger point in them, they can become tight, they can have a small tear, something can happen that they're not moving effectively, then that arm bone ends up hitting into the acromion or that bony spot that's coming off of that scapula or shoulder blade. When this happens, you can get a shoulder impingement because the muscles, or actually the tendons of the muscles, are getting pinched as the arm bone comes up and connects with the acromion. Now, it's not just muscle tendons that are underneath there. You also have other structures, including bursa. And bursa are fluid-filled sacs that help to decrease friction between bony surfaces. And of course, there's a lot of bone happening in the shoulder, and so there's bursas underneath there. So if the tendons are not moving correctly, the bursa can also get irritated. So you may have heard of someone saying they have a bursitis. It's an inflammation of the bursa, and that can happen anywhere in your body that you have a bursa, which is pretty much anywhere that you have bony surfaces. So if you have a positive shoulder impingement sign, that means you're bringing your arm out to the side, and as soon as you reach that 90 degrees or it's straight out to the side, that you actually have symptoms. It could be that you're getting an impingement of the tendons of the rotator cuff, or it could be that you're getting an irritation of the bursa or a bursitis. And of course, you can have both, because as the tendons get irritated over time, that bursa will get more irritated too. And the all-important question of, do I need a surgery in order to deal with shoulder impingement? I will definitely tell you that the research and my 24 years of clinical experience is super clear that you do not need to have surgery in order to deal with the shoulder impingement. However, what you do have to do is figure out what caused this in the first place. You see, there's bones and there's tendons and there's bursas involved, but you've had those your whole entire life. So what has caused this to get aggravated right now? It could be that you've started a new activity that's irritating this. You may have had a fall or an accident that triggered this issue. It's really important to understand why it started in the first place, because that's going to tell us what we need to do to be able to heal these tissues. Now, before we move on to what you can do about a shoulder impingement, I have a goal of hitting 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. So I would love for you to hit that subscribe button if you're getting benefit from this content. All right, the all-important question of what can you do about a shoulder impingement? Well, one, you want to think back to when it started, because you want to try to identify what that root cause is. So if it's something like an accident or a fall, that's really easy, but a lot of people actually have this come on over time and they don't know what it was that caused it. They're like, one day I was just reaching out and all of a sudden it was painful, and now every time I do that, it's painful again. Then my best guess is that something is not moving correctly. Either the shoulder blade, the collarbone, the arm bone, the ribs, something is not moving correctly. So you want to try to identify what that is. You can do that easily right now by just trying to do some shoulder motion without actually moving your arm. You can do some shoulder rolls, so you're actually rolling your shoulders backwards a couple times and forwards a couple times. And what you want to see and identify for yourself is, do I feel equal movement on both sides? Specifically, do I feel equal movement in the collarbone? And do I feel equal movement in the shoulder blades? The next thing I want you to notice is if you've noticed any weakness on the side that has the shoulder impingement compared to normal or compared to the other side. You see, if you're struggling with some weakness, then you know that the rotator cuff muscles are involved, and you may have some inflammation in those tendons, and you may even be suffering with a bursitis. If this is you, the best way to decrease inflammation and pain is to put some ice on it for 5 minutes. That will help to decrease your pain for a short period of time. I understand it doesn't work forever, but at least that can allow you to do more normal motion and start healing those tendons or bursa or whichever one's bothering you. The next thing I want you to do, which sounds pretty simple but can actually be really hard, is make sure that you are not moving through that painful range of motion. A lot of people will be like, ow, it hurts here. Ow, it hurts here. It still hurts here. Okay, if you're doing a motion that's painful, I'm going to need you to stop doing that for a while. Now, I will have people do it every once in a while to kind of see how is that shoulder moving. You want to be able to assess things, independently, but don't keep banging it in there and potentially irritating those tissues underneath that acromion or that bony arch. Put yourself on a discipline of just checking your motion every couple of days, as opposed to every day and multiple times per day. The next thing that is super beneficial is to get some cardiovascular exercise. So for you, that may be walking or hiking or running or rowing or biking. I encourage you to find the cardiovascular exercise that you enjoy the most, because then it's the easiest to do it regularly. And stimulating the blood flow throughout the body will help that area be able to heal. And the last thing that you're going to want to make sure you do, especially if you are suffering with any shoulder pain or a shoulder impingement, is to make sure that you can find a comfortable position to sleep in. You see, it's really important to make sure that we're sleeping, because when we're sleeping is when we're healing. So you may need to try to find some different positions than your normal ones, because your normal position may be painful. And that may include using some pillows to prop your arm, either when you're laying on your back or when you're laying on your side, or putting a pillow in front of you if you're on your side and helping to hug it. And at this point, if you're struggling with shoulder pain and you are still sleeping on your stomach, I'm going to implore you to please break that pattern now. It is very, very difficult to heal shoulder and neck pain if you continue to sleep on your stomach, because when you're sleeping, then you are sitting in that position or lying in that position for a long period of time. And what happens is that everything stretches out because you're on your stomach. Your neck has to stretch out, and that puts a lot of strain on all of the tissues. So the ligaments, the joints, the muscles, all of those types of things get really stretched out when you're laying on your stomach. So I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to implore you that if you are a stomach sleeper, especially if you're having neck or shoulder pain, that I need you to work on finding a new position that's comfortable to sleep in. All right. Well, I hope you've been able to figure out if what you're suffering from is truly shoulder impingement, as well as understanding more about what causes shoulder impingement and if you need surgery for shoulder impingement. If you're looking for some ideas on things you can do right now to help with your shoulder impingement, I'm going to have you check out this video over here. And if you're looking for more ideas to deal with your shoulder pain, we're going to drop a link below to a webinar we have that talks all about shoulder pain and the different causes of it.